Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, guess who's back? That's right, me! With exciting news. The first bit of exciting news that I've had since I could say I joined the Banana Republic. No, I'm not talking about the actual Banana Republic. I'm talking about the rating Banana Republic, which is super cool now. We're at, 6 out of 13 for row? Not too bad. Especially for people switching to tier. 6.2.3 is the new patch coming out. People call it a new patch, but really it's not really a patch. It's not. In fact, I think some of this stuff, if introduced with 6.2 at 6.2's launch, would have been good. But, as Blizzard has stated, this patch isn't really a patch. It's basically just to tide us over until Legion. Now, what does this mean? It means that Legion's kind of close, but it's still far enough away that they think they need a way to retain players. Now, this patch has contained a lot of not so new things, but it's enough to get people like Heels vs. Babyface pissed. Though it doesn't really take a lot to get that asshole pissed. He basically came out now. A lot of people are excited about 6.2.3 because it gives them something to do. Because, that. And they're really excited about it. And this guy comes out and he's like, look, there's nothing to be excited about. No, that was Irish. He's kind of like Welsh. Something like that. Well, I don't understand what you're doing, Blizzard. There's nothing new. Yeah, pretty much like that. He's basically saying, there's nothing new. There's nothing to get excited about. Stop being excited. This is just rehashed content. This is terrible. It's not new. And we're going to go over some of that content, because, in fact, no, it's not brand new content, but it's still new. One thing that Blizzard's wanting to do is get more people to raid, because the completion rate for Hellfire Citadel is probably way below their projected standards. So, especially now, after they did those nerfs to normal mode, it seems like every Tom, Dick, and Harry are going into normal mode expecting to face roll. That's right, because if I run into a fucking... Okay, a little bit of a rant here. I was on my Windwalker Monk. I joined a group on Zul'Farrak. There are two things from Zul'Farrak that I can use, a weapon and a tier piece. So I figured, why the fuck not? We'll go here. And it's like, okay, so we've got some people, right? We're replacing some people. We wiped a couple times. It's fine. Windwalker joins the group. Similarly geared to me. I mean, I still have a better trinket, but it's not that one trinket, even though it's extremely powerful, which is Blade Master's Insignia, which the only difference between it and Mythic is the agility, because that's the same amount of damage. That's the only difference, really, between our gear. But that wouldn't account for the 30k DPS difference. I was doing, I want to say, around 50k. He did 17k. His excuse for doing 17k was, well, I died early to fire. And I was pissed at this point, okay? Because that wasn't the first time that he died on wipe. That was the third wipe that he died, and he was a Windwalker Monk. And I was looking at some of this stuff, and I'm like, okay, wait. One, you shouldn't be dying. Two, your DPS should never be 17k, man. Come on. He's like, oh, really? Do tell. And so I decided that I would tell him in a very fun fashion. I wouldn't be like, well, fuck you, save the chest. I would say, okay, well, the reason why you shouldn't die is because you have Diffuse Magic, you have Zen Meditation, you have Touch of Karma, you have Fortifying Brew, you can get the fuck out of fire, meaning you should never be near an explosion. Oh, and you have Storm, Earth, and Fire, which you're not using. You also are using Chi Explosion, despite not having a haste enchant on your weapon, or using Serenity. So how about you learn to fucking play? We wiped one more time, then we left the group. We wiped a couple more times after that, before I left the group, because it's Zul'Farrak, normal, after the nerf. I thought it would be fine. Apparently, everyone thought it would be easy because to get DPS below 30k on that fight is pathetic. It's an AoE fest. How are you not killing the imps? How? How is a freaking Windwalker Monk not dealing an insane amount of damage on that fight? Honestly, if we had two more Windwalker Monks that knew what the fuck they were doing, we would have been fine that entire fight. But no, we wiped. I said, fuck it, not worth my time. So, Blizzard wants more people to get into raiding. Back to the original point. What they really want is, Hellfire Citadel be easier to do and more incentive to do it. So, here it comes, Grove Warden Moose Mount. Everybody wanted the Moose, right? Everybody wanted the Moose. So what are they doing? Well, if you defeat Archimonde on Heroic or Mythic, you get a 100% chance drop personal loot item that will put you on a quest line. Of course, it's only to get a mount, so it's not going to be super long or anything. However, when this came up, as Heel vs. Babyface, decided to say, well, I mean, you're going on a quest line to get the mount. Drop's not going to put you on a quest line. Definitely not a very long one. Of course not. Because it's a fucking mount drop. You're not going to get a long quest line for a mount drop. Come on. So, we get that. For a limited time, you get the Grove Warden mount for completing Heroic or Mythic Archimonde. Now, this is super controversial, and we'll get into it in a bit. The thing with this is that it's basically the AOTC mount. Because it's a limited time, which means it's going to be taken out with pre-patch. So, when 7.0 hits, when the biggest invasion we've ever seen hits, it'll be gone. Which means a lot of guilds are going to be pushing. But, I mean, what if you can't really push? What if you can't get into heroic runs because your item level's too low? I mean, even Heroic Archimonde is kind of difficult, isn't it? Well, Blizzard's fixed that. You're getting Valor again, my friends. Valor is making a glorious return. At least that's what some people say. I think it's just stupid. Just make it Apexis crystals. Just reward Apexis crystals from the places you would reward Valor and use that for the item upgrade. Because that's what Valor's being used for. Item upgrades! Yay! Everybody's favorite system is back. Albeit it does provide character progression, but it's still a limited system that I would prefer to see advancements made on. I told my guild this, and a lot of them agreed with it. That since they're doing the item upgrade thing, it would be cool if they also let you make your item Warforged, or let you add a socket, or let you add tertiary stats. Because why would I spend my 500 Valor, because to upgrade twice it does cost 500, once for $250, I'm guessing the cap's still going to be 1k? Why would I spend that on an item that is not Warforged and gemmed, and not the best that it could possibly be? Why would I spend it on that? Well, Blizzard's not adding that, sadly. They are, however, only using Valor for the item upgrade, which I think is a missed opportunity, but I'm not Blizzard, so there's that. The thing about Valor is where you can earn it. This rightfully caused a few people to be a bit confused, a little worried. You can earn it 4 possible ways. Heroic dungeons, mythic dungeons, LFR, and the weekly bonus event. If you're expecting me to say LFR and normal rating, you don't get it from normal, heroic, or mythic, because they want to push you into mythic dungeons. Because they want you to group up with the other people that can't get into it. Why would I do mythic dungeons? I mean, I'm at a 708 item level right now. There's no real reason for me to do mythic dungeons. I mean, I could do a couple of random heroics in the tank. I could do that rather easily. I mean, mythic dungeons don't really give me any new rewards, Blizz. Oh, no. They do. They are scaling up the Warforged mythic dungeon items to go up to 725 in 5-level increments, which I think is stupid, because they're going to have it go from 685, 690, 695, 700, 705, 710, 715, 720, and 725. Why is this shitty? Because it's RNG on RNG on RNG on RNG. That's not fun, Blizz! It's really not fun! It's actually the opposite of fun! If you would just make the base item level something like 705, that would be fine. Oh, but the normal raiders would complain! No! Normal raiders would be forced to do dungeons. Terrible forced content. Oh no! It's not like, normal raids have stuff that mythic dungeons don't, like tier sets, good trinkets, glass trinkets, better weapons. Oh wait, it has most of that shit. So, mythic dungeons basically give out badass loot. Now, you may think I'd be pissed with this. You may think that raiders would be pissed with this. Some raiders probably are. I, however, am happy. I'm really happy. I am ecstatic. Why am I ecstatic? Because the best possible strength two-hander in the game for Ret Pally is in a mythic dungeon. The only thing that held it back so far has been the item level. Now, you may think, 725? That's mythic. And it is. It is mythic, Jimmy. It really is. So, the small, minute, minuscule 1% chance of me getting a 725 weapon out of that mythic dungeon, I'm willing to take it. Because the 725 mythic dungeon item has a proc that procs an ad, and it also has my 2 best stats, so there's that. I'm okay with the mythic dungeon change. I really am. It gets more people to want to do mythic dungeons. I don't think that dungeons, got their proper treatment in Warlords of Draenor. Would I have preferred more, new dungeons to be added? Yeah, but this isn't a new patch. It's not 6.3. It's 6.2.3. It's not a new patch. And everyone's like, oh, they're returning Valor, that's terrible. And then you've got people on the other side of the spectrum that are like, oh my god, they're returning Valor, that's awesome. And when asking, what's the difference between Apexis and Valor? Oh, I can gain Valor differently. What if they just replace it with Apexis crystals and make that? There's no difference. It's still a shitty currency. We now have 2 shitty currencies. The item upgrade system currently only, on the PTR at least, works for Hellfire Citadel and Baleful items. Mythic Dungeon items cannot be upgraded with this system, which I hate. I hate the fact that I can't upgrade what could be the best weapon in the game. Now this all goes back to making Hellfire Citadel more accessible, making Heroic Archermon easier to kill. Well, why does this change affect that? Because basically I would go from a 708 item level to a 718 item level. My 715 best in slot trinket that I have right now, an empty drinking horn, would become 725 best in slot, irreplaceable until mythic. My 705 weapon, possibly 715 once we kill Zakuun, would become 725. Again, untouchable until mythic. You can basically upgrade all of your gear to a level equal to mythic gear, which basically makes everyone's argument of, well, we don't have the gear, we need to farm the gear from the first bosses to kill the next bosses, completely invalid. And if there's one thing I hate, it's farm content! But I work through it. I work through it, guys, you don't understand. I push myself through those fucking farm raids, because I know there's gear people need. And it's really fun. I would happily spend, fucking farm raids with the guild. Not with my old guild. Fuck that. I hated farming that fucking shit. And, oh, P.S. if any of you are watching, Far, this is for you, Far. This is for you on your shaman. Let me lean in close for you here. Now you see, Far, you don't need every single item from the past boss to progress onto a new one. You would know this if you paid attention to our raids, in which we killed Iron Juggernaut for the second time, then went on to kill Shamans, then the next week we went on to kill Nazgrim, then the next week we went on to kill Malkarok and Spoils. So no, you don't need to have every single piece. And at that point, you know what? You're lucky I wasn't Fern, because if I was Fern, if I was Raid Leader, I would have told you to get the fuck out. I would have done the same thing with, I can't remember his actual name, Versago. I would have done the same thing with him. I would have kicked him the fuck out that night in Highmaul when he's like, well, you keep doing that, I'm gonna leave the raid. It wouldn't have been like, oh, you know what, Molly, stop having fun because this guy finds it annoying. No, I would kick your ass out. So they're making Valor, and they're basically nerfing the instance with these item upgrades. How are they nerfing the instance? By making the players more powerful. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with them basically making it to where you are unbelievably overpowered. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's kind of stupid, but it's the end of the expansion. It's the end of the expansion. They want to push you through that content and push you through Heroic Archimon. And people are complaining. I know one guy said, you might as well just put it on the store so the casuals can get to it. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure 6 hours a week is pretty fucking casual. And all these people are still complaining, well, Ray, I don't want to raid because that's treating it like a job and filling out applications like 7 days a week. It's like, oh, so you applied to a world first raiding guild? Oh, that's cool, bro. During progression, by the way, you're a fucktard. That's what you are. You are a fucking retard. A fucktard. All this random crap surrounding raiding saying that it requires no lifing and all that shit, it's stupid. It really is. Because raiding requires nothing more than time invested. However, people don't want to see this. They want to see it as the magical wonder years of vanilla, where to raid, you needed something called no lifing. Because you needed the gear from every single previous raid to get to the next one. And bosses only drop 2 pieces. As compared to now where they drop like 8. Yep. Slow clap, slow clap. Nope, you don't need it. 6 hours right now. I'm gonna kill it! Okay? Fuck you! I'm gonna kill Heroic Archimon and get my Moose Mount. Something new that they're also adding. And this is another thing that Heels vs. Babyface complained about, is Time Walker dungeons. We're getting new ones. It's not new, okay? So TBC, we're getting the Magister's Terrace, part of the Sunwell patch. I love that. I really did love it. I never got to play it as current content. I just went in there to farm them out, and I got the mount, and I got the orb, and I got the pets. So, yay for me, I got my shit. Never really understood that Kelpis was actually a zombie at that point. But yeah, pretty cool. We figured it all out, killed all the shit, got all my stuff. And I'm really interested to see what that would be like, with me scaled down to current content. A lot of people are saying that it might be nerfed. I'm okay with it. Wrath of the Lich King is getting Pit of Sauron. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I really hate that dungeon with a burning passion. And we are getting the new edition, Cataclysm Dungeons. Ooh, what Cataclysm Dungeons are we getting? Grim Batal. Honestly, I don't really remember much of that dungeon other than the first boss, which required you to wipe out the trash with the dragons beforehand, which people will probably be able to do now, get the achievements pretty easily, especially if they don't scale the vehicles correctly, which is something that they've got problem doing, because in Flame Leviathan and in the boat on ICC, your vehicle scales to your item level. It's pretty overpowered. So, I don't really like Grim Batal too much. I can't remember much of it. Then they've got the Stone Core, which is really cool. I really do like the Stone Core, the fact that it could kill you if you didn't CC the right shit. It's also got a mount that can drop in it, which is really cool, and I really like those bosses. Then it's got the Vortex Pinnacle. Again, it's something that drops a mount, but it has those mechanics that if people don't know, they will fucking die, and everyone will hate them for the rest of their life, because they cause the wipe on the easiest fucking boss in there. I think my favorite boss would have to be the dragon with the changing winds, especially now that I'm a fucking pally. They've also got the Throne of the Tides. Not exactly my favorite one, but it's there. They've also got Ahn'kahet, or the Lost City of Tol'vir, or something like that. I liked it. I liked it. Okay, I can't say much bad about the Cataclysm dungeons. They've also got End Time, which I got confused with. Okay, not gonna lie, this one, the Dragon Soul patch dungeons, I was thinking it was Well of Eternity. So I'm like, yes! We gotta do the thing with Illidan! Apparently I wasn't the only one that thought that. Preach came out and said that he thought it was that one at first, too. So, we actually don't get that one. We get the one with Murozond and the Infinite Dragon, which, kind of makes sense with something that drops in the Time Walker dungeons. Personal loot, an Infinite Dragonflight Drake mount. So many people have wanted it. So many people have thought, why the fuck isn't it made yet? And it's now here. Again, we also have the Grove Warden mount that drops from raiding, so that's cool. We get 2 new mounts. We get some of these dungeons scaled up. And as chat said, this is just rehash content. We've read it hundreds and hundreds of times. I don't know about you, Heels, but I didn't run it when it was current content. I ran the Cataclysm dungeons when they were current content. I didn't run Pit of Sauron or Magister's Terrace when they were even close to current content. I farmed Magister's Terrace when I was 85 as a hunter, and yeah, that was a little sad. But I got my mount. I'm happy with my mount. It was only a Hawk Strider, but I still got my mount. So, other than that, I mean, it's rehashed. It's rehashed content, guys. There's no reason to be excited. It's rehashed content. Yeah, but it's good content. You can't lie. You can't say these dungeons are fucking terrible. They're good. Now, the fact that, they chose some weak dungeons in some areas, like, get a Sauron, fucking Throne of Tides, End Time instead of Well of Eternity, I can understand a little bit of that. Second. But you can't say that everyone's run it 100,000 times. I mean, now you can go in there with new friends, and it's awesome. It gives you options. And the Valor upgrade system gives you a constant sense of player progression. I would still, however, like to see and expand that into Warforged gem sockets. Now, with the fact that everyone's going to be 725 fucking item level by the time that they hit Heroic Archimon, you're going to be able to get pretty easily. And to the people bitching and moaning about only the elitists are going to get this mount, it's undoubtedly going on the store after taken out. Okay, so you can go buy it if you want it. However, if you don't want to buy it, you've got two choices. Well, no, three. One, you can farm up a little over 100k, which is how much the carriers are going to cost you at least. The next thing you can do, I mean, if you don't want to farm the gold, which is actually pretty easy in Willow's General nowadays, if you don't want to farm the gold, you can raid. Well, I don't have time to commit to a stupid raid guild with all the drama. I'll give you a hint, buddy. If you're one of the persons that says, I don't have time for drama, you're probably the one that causes the drama, okay? Not gonna lie. I have a friend that does that, okay? She's like, oh my god, my guild disbanded because of the drama. It was stupid. It's like, okay. Did it include you hitting on the guild master? Because you tend to do that a lot. Did you hit on someone you thought had power? Because you tend to do that a lot. I'm kind of living proof of that. So, like, she does that, and she always complains about drama. She's the one that causes it in most cases. Drunken healers sometimes cause it too. But you don't have to commit a lot of time. Oh, do you play weeknights? Okay, sure. Well, I don't have time to fill out a joint application that asks more than a job application does. Oh, so you've never seen a job application or a decent guild application. I should introduce you to Convert to Raid. Our guild applications are literally nothing. However, there are a lot of people out there that want experience greater than what they've got, and they don't understand, your guild's 2 out of 13 mythic. Yet you're requiring people to be 2 or out of 13 mythic or higher. The question is, if they were higher progressed, why would they join you? Answer, they wouldn't. You suck. Then it's like, okay, well, yeah, some people have crazy fucking applications. Other groups that are more reasonable don't. My group is one of them. I don't even remember how long your actual group application is. Things like 3 questions. That's about it. We also don't care if you show up every single raid night. As long as you're not a tank or a healer, it doesn't really fucking matter, because DPS can be replaced on the fly. Also, as long as you're not one of those fucking DPS that just bitches and moans and whines because you didn't get your loot! Fuck you! Seriously, I saw you in the fucking guild and I had to keep myself from just bitch smacking you through the monitor. Because my god, man, seriously, I've looked you up. I'm happy to see that you're now raiding heroic. I'm also happy to see that you die 5 seconds into each fight, which is hilarious. Still haven't replaced that trinket though. I've noticed that. So 6.2.3 is coming. It's got the time walking dungeons. It's got the overpowered fucking Valor system along with item upgrades. It's got the overpowered Mythic dungeon gear. It's got the 2 new mounts. It's also got some fun little vanity items. Not too bad. What else does it have? Oh yeah, it has overpowered trinkets. It's heirloom trinkets, and the stats on them vary wildly because their scaling isn't right. But there's one thing that's constantly there. Healing trinket, I haven't seen. I've seen the DPS trinkets and I've seen the tank trinkets. All the DPS trinkets will arbitrarily increase X stat, and then it also has 10% damage bonus against demons, which is really powerful if you think about it, especially for leveling. I thought it was going to be really powerful in raids, but it turns out our Archimon, who's supposed to be a demon, is actually just a humanoid. So thank you, Lore, for not knowing that. But it's 10% damage against demons, that stays there, so yeah, that could be super powerful. The tank, if you're being hit by a demon, it grants you, it grants you a shield on use, but if you're being hit by a demon, the shield is doubled in value. I don't know if that scales with resolve or anything. That'd be pretty cool. Like I said, I don't know what the healer one is. I know the only difference between the int and strength and agi ones is that the agi one causes an instant burst of damage instead of increasing your stat, which is kind of stupid. That's the only real things that are being added, and people are, like, salty and super happy and other unexplainable emotions about this. I'm okay with it. I really am, because it gives me a reason to do Mythic Dungeons. My guild, well, my group, not my guild, because I'm in CTR full of fucking thousands of people. We decided, no, after this patch, we might not be doing normal Hellfire Citadel farm. We might be doing Mythic Dungeons, which I'm okay with. Oh, another thing they added that I just kind of skipped over because it doesn't affect me. Cross-realm Mythic Hellfire Citadel. It's cool. Will these, now, big question here is, will these system changes stay in Legion? Undoubtedly, no. We're not going to have these super uber awesome item upgrades. Basically, all they're doing is giving us leveling gear. And people are making a big deal about this. Oh, well, this is really powerful. This is really powerful. They're making this OP. The power scaling is going to be off the wall. Dude, fuck off. No, our actual, like, rating gear might be 820 in the first tier. Maybe. Item level 820, not too bad. So it's getting up there though. I don't see much of a reason for any of the complaints. I don't see much of a reason for any of the, oh my god, you're complaining. I do see the reason to tell the people that are just overly cynical and saying, hey, this shit's bad because, you know, I said it is and it's not brand new and it doesn't cater to me. Yeah, that's just awful, by the way. That's terrible. But to each their own, and to as, go fuck yourself. That's about it, guys. I look forward to seeing you in patch 6.2.3 and maybe doing some random mythic dungeons with you. I'm also glad to say that I actually, for once, got to play with a YouTuber, Mr. Asmongold, for the Turkey Murloc pet, which is a completely different story. And I'll probably be having more videos more regularly for you, because now I can do green screens, which technically isn't green screen, because the wall behind me right now is white. I can just change it to green screen.